Evening, everyone. It is time once again for Dungeons & Dragons: The Legends of Valcia, our Dungeons & Dragons long-form campaign tonight. I am Llamachomp. My character is Harbeck Iron Fist, down here in the corner. Right above me is Eversor.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eversor.
Hello.
I'm playing Brig, the crazy little gnome.
Right above Eversor is an empty space where Babs will be when she gets here, because she's very busy tonight and will be a little bit late. Straight across from me on that side is Useless.
Hello. I am Rogar. And now we're 6th level, and my breath weapon gets an extra d6 of damage.
Yay!
I'm so excited.
So he is here, even though there's no camera.
Fancy.
Above him is Flick.
Hello, I will be playing Tabarin, the magic con artist.
Straight to the
And last but not least, in the far upper left corner of your screen, is our illustrious dungeon master, Lolash.
That's me! Hey everybody, how you doing? I am Lolash, and I am going to be playing all of the things that are trying to kill the party. So, you want to support me, because I have lots of things. Terribly sorry for the delay in the stream this week. I know it was supposed to be yesterday. I had some family dramas that had to be dealt with. I had to go and babysit my darling niece for a week, and because of that I was very late. But I'm here tonight, and I'm really excited to be back to D&D. We have to see what happens next. So, let's start off with a recap of what has happened. Yeah, maybe don't go all the way back to the start, but what happened last session? Llama, did you want to do that?
Yep, I'll do the recap. So we are in a small town in the outskirts of the big town where we met each other and started the adventure. We're here looking for a man to translate some clues that we've gotten about our situation, and we've stumbled upon an entire subplot in this town. The man we're looking for, Elder Varen, is missing. No one knows where he's gone. There's a group of people in this town, including the innkeeper, the brewmaster, the stable boy, and possibly some others we haven't met yet, who are doing some sort of covert operations, hunting for the elder and trying to figure out what happened to him. Our first encounters with them were a little bit adversarial. They didn't know who we were. They didn't know if our intentions were good, as we were asking for this guy that's been a hot topic in town recently. But we managed to win them over. That's a very short synopsis up to last time. And after we won them over, they outfitted us to go and do some more investigating. Our investigations took us to the town hall, which appears to have been built over top of some much more ancient structures that were in the town. We found a staircase down, the stonework changed, and we found a crypt underneath the town where an as yet to be identified necromancer was doing nasty things that necromancers do at a crypt. We spent last time narrowly avoiding death while fighting all of his various necromantic creatures. We defeated some skeletons, and then just when we thought we were safe, some undead skeletal paladins popped out of some boxes, and we narrowly defeated those. And just when we thought we were safe, a manifestation of a deity of death and water sprouted up, and we narrowly avoided dying yet again. Harbeck was terrified at that point, by the way. He was ready to just leave. We are outclassed, we're outmatched, let's go. We're gonna die. Please, I don't want to die. But we didn't die, and it was okay. Then there was one more set of sarcophagi in the crypt, and guessing by the pattern so far, we were pretty sure that we were going to have to fight whatever was in those as well. But Tabarin had a brilliant plan and handed Harbeck the end of a rope, and we ran swiftly across the room carrying this rope and the rope caught on the invisible form of our necromantic tormentor, who turned himself invisible so that he would have time to summon all of his beasties. The rope caught him and flung him into a wall, and his crumpled unconscious form lost its invisibility spell, and Harbeck may have been very angry at him and punched him while he was unconscious a lot of times. And then, we calmed down, and I think the last thing that happened was Brieg got really terrified, like Briegs do. And we ended on a very touching scene of Brieg and Harbeck hugging while Brieg was terrified and Harbeck was calming down from his rage. And so we're still in the crypt. Brieg and Harbeck are having a moment. There's lots of destruction and fire and the aftermath of battle everywhere, and an unconscious necromancer that we'll have to deal with.
That pretty much covers everything. Okay, so we're down in the crypt. There is the unconscious necromancer, Brieg and Harbeck, having their little huggy time. Their little huggy time, because it was a trying moment in their lives. You do have this necromancer who I believe, Tabron, you cast Spare the Dying.
I did.
On him, so he's not going to die. He is stable, but it could be some time before he wakes up. Given the amount of punishment he may or may not have taken from forceful blows delivered by a dwarven monk. So, what would you guys like to do?
I'm watching over the necromancer's body, but really, I just want someone else to come watch it because I need to go for a walk. This guy, I think Tabarin shares the same feelings as Harbeck and really wants to just beat on him a little bit, but
It was very cathartic. I think, folks, that we might try to do our interrogation in a more comfortable setting and one less at home to a necromancer. So, who should go out? Perhaps Rogar and Brieg can watch over and carry our new friend back to the inn. Once I've gone and spoken with the innkeeper to clear us some space and clear us a path through town to do this discreetly.
Alright. That works for me.
Okay, I'll be off then. And how will I signal you that it's safe? Perhaps I'll just come back. So wait here. I'll come back as quickly as I can. And Harbeck will dash out to go to the inn and make arrangements with the innkeeper for an interrogation room.
Okay, an interrogation room. It's very CIA of you, Llama. Okay.
Out of character and a bit off topic, I have heard from Babs. She says about 20-ish minutes.
Okay, alright. Okay, Harbeck, you're upstairs. Where are you headed?
So my map is at the wrong zoom level and I can't see anything. There we go. Uh-oh. It's concerning me that there's
Fog of
War on this map now. Well, Harbeck is pretty sure that this place is empty and is just going to huff it at full overweight dwarven speed right down the hall and barrel through the door. And hopefully that doesn't go terribly.
Okay, I can tell you that it doesn't go terribly. Roll a perception check for me.
Oh, I'm good at those. Not good at those.
He's not good at those.
Skills, perception. Hey, I did okay this time.
You distinctly remember the main hall's doors being closed. They're currently open.
Uh-oh. And we left them closed when we came in?
Yeah.
That is troublesome. Well... I will endeavor to be a little bit stealthier. And,
Then running 300-pound dwarf should
yeah,
help.
then, which is very... Wow.
Hey, he's light on his feet.
He's a dexterous 300 pounds, but, you know, he wasn't using it. So I'm going to go and listen at these double doors into the big meeting room and see if maybe the doors are open because something's going on in there without trying to reveal my presence.
Okay, so you're just listening, you're not peeking around the corner or anything?
Are these double doors to the inside open?
Yes.
Those are open.
Yes.
Okay, so I will walk up to the corner and listen first before I decide if it's safe to peek.
Okay. You listen and you can hear some whisperings.
Does it sound... Can I get a rough estimate of how many people I hear whispering?
You hear 5 distinct voices, of which you recognize 3.
Are the 3 the innkeeper et al. That I'm familiar with?
You hear the innkeeper,
Great.
the brewmaster, and the stable boy.
Then I will step quietly out into view here.
Okay. Okay. Bing. There's your vision. You see at the end of the hall 5 people, 3 of which you recognize as the peasant stable boy, the dwarven brewmaster, the innkeeper, and 2 figures that you are unfamiliar with who don't look like citizens of the town. They're just standing at the end of the hall, chatting amongst themselves. And as they see you walk around the corner, they say, Harbeck, how did it go?
Harbeck's going to exaggerate the effect of his wounds from battle as I walk toward them. So we're going to make sure that the bloody gash is facing them and that my breathing's belabored and I'm walking a little bit limpishly. Well, it certainly went. We've got a bit of a situation downstairs.
Okay. Care to elaborate?
Someone, we don't recognize the man naturally as we're not from around here, is a necromancer, and underneath this place is a crypt. And we've re-killed most of the things that were down there, and we've disabled the necromancer himself, but he's going to wake up and we're going to want to have some words with him.
Music's a touch loud, is it? I can't actually hear the music because it is playing through the incorrect
Yeah, I can turn it down from here.
volume device. I've just turned it down for everybody. A little bit, at least. I don't know if it'll be enough. Okay, so you've told her about the necromancer and the fighty, pain, ouchie, etc. Okay, well, bring him up here then. We'll tell you who he is, and we'll work out exactly what's going on.
Okay, so this is a good place to take care of this business. Great, I'll be right back. And Harbeck will go limp and huff his way back downstairs to tell everyone that we should bring him up.
So,
As you try to leave, and just as before you get around the corner of the first door, she says, "How's the little one?"
He's better off than I am, but all of us are a bit worn and weary.
Okay, as long as he's safe.
He is safe. He's a bit shaken. He may need some care and some careful words. And then I'll
Okay.
continue on my way.
And
so
you,
while Harbeck was gone, I would love to see if this necromancer has any marks of, what is it, Sithras? Is that
Sarath, yep.
Sarath. Backwards.
Yes. So you're going to have a bit of a look-see at the necromancer and sort of check for insignias, markings, that sort of thing.
Well, I thought I remembered there was a particular tattoo.
Ah, yes. So you're going to look at his back and see if he has that particular tattoo.
Right.
While searching his unconscious form, you don't recognize... There's no tattoo on him, no tattoo of Sarath, or of any tattoos for that matter, but you do find a scroll case, And on the scroll case there's a wax seal, and the wax seal is broken, but even with it being broken, you can clearly see that it was once the unholy symbol of Sarath. And Brieg, Tabarin, Din, who is here, everybody else, and Necromancer fellow who Rogar is carrying. Okay. Everybody is now upstairs. Fantastic.
Okay. So I'll lead the group around the corner
Okay.
and into the main hall.
And I'll have to move him, won't I? Okay. And I'll move Din as well. Alright, fantastic. Okay, so as you walk in with the unconscious form of the Necromancer, I can't remember his name and I haven't written it down. It is the other Elder. What was the other Elder?
It started with an R, I think.
I can't remember. I didn't write it down.
I'm notoriously bad at notes during D&D.
I'm normally not bad, but obviously I was bad at that point in time. Anyway, so it is the other Elder. The Elder who benefited from Varen's disappearance, and they point that out to you. This is Elder Random. I'm going to call him our name. Elder Random. Randomly generated name. This is Elder randomly generated name, and he was the one in the crypts?
He was quite a powerful wizard as well. The duration of the attack, he was invisible and sending wave after wave of undead upon us.
He isn't a known mage.
Perhaps he's been replaced, but if so, his disguise does not require any form of concentration, as you can see.
Yes, well, I am quite the master of illusion. He's not under any kind of glamour. Something's not right here. And she puts down a serving tray and she starts to focus and concentrate on the unconscious form of Elder Rando. And after a brief moment of concentration, she says, "Bollocks." No, she doesn't say bollocks, but she says, "Oh my god, quick, get down!" And she quickly ducks down behind one of the pews.
I would like to duck down behind a pew.
Can I have a reflex save? A reflex save from everybody, please.
When we walked in, I took a seat on this backmost pew. I'm guessing that is low enough.
Yeah, you just sort of have to slide to the ground. You are quite short. Dexterity saving throws. Oh no, Rogar! And Tamarin.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and succeed on that one.
Yeah, you can go ahead and succeed on that one. Okay, so hang on a tick. I'm just going to do one for Din. A 10. Uh-oh. Okay. So, what have we got? We've got Rogar, Tabarin, and Din all get blown off their feet as a wave of dark necromantic energy pulses outwards from the unconscious form of the Elder, and find that they are quite dazed and incapable of cogent thought or action. However, Brieg and Harbeck, you both manage to duck down and avoid the necromantic pulse. And as you do, you see the ethereal shape of something quite dark and sinister rise from the fallen unconscious form of the elder and phase directly through the roof of the town hall.
Oh,
And after a few moments, the dazedness passes and everybody starts to feel like they can move their legs again, which is probably a good thing. And yeah, that just happened.
So Harbeck and Briggs saw this. Now that we're more coherent, do we recall what hit us, or is it?
It was just like a wave of force, a wave of energy that just blew over you and knocked you backwards into pews, and it sort of came in at about just above waist height, which is probably why Brig avoided it so easily, and also why Harbeck avoided it so easily. But yeah.
Appears he was possessed.
now I feel a bit badly about the punching. His poor body.
Was that by chance dark wind? Is that? I'm trying to recall.
That description certainly fits. Did you mean something more specific?
Tabern's just kind of deep in his own thought, trying to recall a memory of a vision he had.
Of the Darkwind Elementals.
Of the Dark Wind Elementals.
And Sarath, yes. Yes, I remember that. You didn't actually get to see whatever it was that left the body of the Elder. You only felt the wave of force, but it was an evil feeling. Like when you got knocked backwards, it was definitely... It was... Whatever was in him was not pleasant.
Very strong, evil.
Yes. It was evil enough that even without detect evil, you detect that it's evil.
You detect an overwhelming presence of evil.
Evil.
Go and check on the old man again.
It was the innkeeper who saw it coming?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go talk to her.
Tabron, when you bend down to check the well, I'll tell you. When you bend down to check the corpse of the Elder, he is very certainly dead. As in dead.
Dead.
Yes.
Like dead for a long time dead? Or dead for like 10 minutes dead?
Like dead for a long time dead. Unless somebody else is a necromancer. Alright, Harbeck, so you wander over to the innkeep.
What did we just see?
He was possessed. He was not in control of his own functions. He mustn't have been for quite some time. There's always, in recent times, been an air of evil in the town. That's why all of the townsfolk are so skittish. It's why we were here in the first place. And, you know, it makes sense now that this was the source of the evil. And it wasn't the Elder. It was whatever was coexisting with him.
Have we killed an innocent man then?
It looks to me like he was dead long before we got here.
The little one is right. Whatever force took over what remained of his body, he left this plane of existence long ago.
Good. Well, not good, but we should still avenge him. Is there any way that we can track whatever left through the ceiling?
I highly doubt that. It's hard to explain to one who isn't trained in the arts, but
Certainly.
whatever that thing was, it is back where it belongs now.
So, what's left for you and your task here in town?
We still have to find Farron.
Yeah. That was our primary goal.
I think our only lead just left through the roof. Do we have another means of approaching this mystery?
I'd like to volunteer this scroll. Make sure people are aware of that. That might have information.
I'll step aside so you can hand the scroll to the leader of this other group.
Alright, Rogar produces a scroll in a case with a seal that is broken but is clearly that of the nasty pasty that we have come to know as Sarath, and presents it to the innkeep. She says, "Where did you get this?"
It was on the body, on the necromancer.
It appears Sarath has his fingers in every piece of pie. Are you aware of this god?
Very much so.
He's a remnant. It's said that he doesn't even exist. He's an old god from old times, from before the fall. His followers have been exceptionally active, and it's a point of contention amongst scholars that perhaps he didn't disappear with the rest of the gods.
We've been running into signs of him all over the place.
He definitely
Like
exists.
giant snakes.
Let me have a look at this. And she takes a scroll from you and she opens it up. And you can see her reading through it. And it's obvious that she's being very careful about what she reads. And she's not saying any of it out loud.
Can I take a peek of the language that's written on that scroll?
Yeah, definitely. It's a language that you're familiar with, but not one that you read or write or can speak. It's clearly the same language that was on the scrolls that were found in the smuggler's cave.
And the
it's
book.
in the language of Infernal.
The language we've been trying to translate since we got here.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I've-
you've been trying to translate two languages, which was the Celestial and the Infernal.
Okay. I've just heard from Babs. She's on Skype, ready to go. If we can just throw a cover screen over for just a second, I'll get her called in and her video set up.
Yeah, sure.
We can keep chatting, but just explaining that the screen's going to go away while we add the camera.
No worries. Okay, so after some time, probably a couple of minutes of glancing over what's happening on the scroll, she says, "It seems Sereth was after something on a boat that sunk southwest of here.
We were on that boat.
We almost sunk.
I was on that boat.
Whatever he was after, he didn't get his hands on.
What do you know about heaven?
It's a glorious place. Eternal peace and calm. Why do you ask, little one?"
Is there a gnomish god?
There are several gnomish gods.
One named...
Are you not aware of them?
No. Does the name Berivar mean anything to you?
She giggles. Well, of course it does. But I'll speak no more on that.
Why not?
You'll see, little one. You will see.
I think Sarath might be after me.
Why would Sarath be after you? Can
I
I get
feel
a sense motive? It's not sense motive anymore, is it? What's it called?
Insight.
Insight, that's right. Can I get insight rolls from everybody, please?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not showing the right screen for that. There we go.
Yeah, of course.
So insightful.
Look at all of our wisdom.
Such wisdom. Many wisdoms.
Hey, look, our cleric has some wisdom. It's good.
Can everyone just go with their second roll?
Yeah, everyone beat the base roll.
You can roll in for Din. She'll be here very shortly, I hope. She texted me that she's
Okay.
here, and then she's not on Skype.
Okay, alright. Din, where are you? Skills, insight. She's not trained.
All right. It's really not her thing anyway.
Okay.
No, it really isn't.
Okay, cleric, did you pick up anything there?
Rogar, you can tell that there is something. She's being deceitful or deceptive, but you have no idea in regards to what or why or anything else. Only that she is.
Along with that, is there any indication of... She hasn't struck me as malicious thus far. So
No,
even if she's
no.
being deceptive, it doesn't seem like it's malicious, right?
That's correct.
Or,
Yes.
okay.
I feel like you might know more about it than I do. Why would Sarath be after me?
As I said, we'll speak no more on this. But if you're interested in chasing down what's happened to Varen and, you know, completing whatever it is you were looking for him to do, I would start with the shipwreck.
Oh. How does one get to something under that much water?
That's the thing. Apparently, according to this scroll, the ship was wrecked. It says it was wrecked in open ocean, but the location of the shipwreck is on an island, a tiny rock of an island in the strait, in the mouth of the bay. Quite some distance from where the ship apparently went down, but if the scroll is right, then yeah, maybe Sarath. You mentioned the Darkwind elementals earlier. You know, if he's working with them, perhaps they had something to do with this. I don't know.
Could they move a ship from the bottom of the ocean up onto an island? Is that within their power?
Darkwind elementals?
Aye.
Perhaps. There's very little that is known about them. They're quite enigmatic, one might say.
Well, do you still need help with Elder Varen here? Or do you have it covered? Perhaps we should go follow this other lead.
I think if we could, we have a few other things. If you could translate for us. And
There we
Ooh.
go.
Hey! It's
Welcome.
Babs! 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
How's it going?
who's carrying the book? Let's pull that out.
So you want her to try and translate the...
I have the book and the scroll that we
She
took
seems
out
to
of
read
that
at least
first
one of the languages.
temple-y thing. Might give us further clues as to Sarath's plan. She appears to be interested, at least somewhat, in that. We might help each other.
Okay, what are you going to give her first? The book or the scroll?
While they're
was-
trying to find that, I pull a small note that I had from inside the box and hand it to her.
Okay. She glances over the note quickly, and she says, "This is a missive to someone in regards to the salvage of a ship that is supposed to sink. Apparently, this person and their forces are to salvage everything from the ship and take it to a smuggler's cave.
We heard a bit about a cave. I don't know if that is the place we found. It didn't seem very much like a place for smugglers. The cave we found was much more a converted shrine to Serath.
Well, this does bear the mark of Serath. Perhaps whoever was living there converted the cave to suit their purposes. It's just a theory.
So the salvage was being brought to the cave. Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
and they knew the ship would wreck before the storm. So there's a bit of planning that went into creating an entire shipwrecking, malevolent storm over the terrifying deep sea full of scary, unbreathable water.
So,
I get the feeling you don't like the ocean, Sir Dwarf.
A dwarf likes to feel stone and dirt beneath his feet. The stone and dirt in the ocean's far too far away.
That's very true. That's very true. The book and the scroll, you said you had some other things that you needed translated. Perhaps I could help.
I don't know who has them.
Who
but I'm
has
sure
them?
whoever it is produces them.
Right, so you had 2 books.
I have the
That-
rejuvenated books that we dunked in the water.
Yes.
Yep, I'll
Uh,
pull those out. These were in much worse condition when we found them. There was a fountain that restored the pages. They were completely moth-eaten and rotten. Very old. And I'll hand them over.
She opens the first book. There's no markings on any of their covers. She opens the first book, and you can see her, running a finger along a line, and she seems almost confused by what she's reading. And she sort of stops and goes back and reads the first line of text on the book again, quietly to herself. You can hear her mouthing the words, but they don't mean anything to you. And after reading the first sort of sentence, you're guessing it's a sentence. It's about the length of a sentence, in common anyway. After reading it for the second time, she closes the book and tucks it into a satchel that she's carrying on her person. She says, "I'll be keeping this, thank you."
Perhaps we could broker at least a trade for a bit of information. Why are you keeping it?
She glances over at you, and you can tell she's not messing around. Just by the look in her eyes, she's clearly fiercely protective of whatever it is that she's just decided to stuff into a satchel. And she says, "Young dwarf," which I will point out sounds hilarious because she is clearly a human in her mid-20s, and you are a dwarf of
Roughly 100 years? 90 something?
Yeah, several decades at least. But she glances over at you and says, "Young dwarf, there are things that you are not meant to know. This is one of them."
I apologize. I'm just a curious fellow, and I came into possession of an ancient text, which I was just informed I'm not in possession of anymore.
As a matter of fact, I
Was-
think maybe we'll keep the rest for ourselves.
yeah, let's
There are other
keep the
translators.
rest.
Was that the celestial book or the?
It was the super old ones that were rotten that we restored in the fountain.
And
Yeah.
both of the ones that we restored in the fountain were celestial.
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
She seems perfectly happy with the 2 volumes that she has. She says,
Well-
"You can keep the other stuff, that's fine."
Not sure.
I'm not
I
sure
like
I'm
you
happy
anymore.
with you keeping the first
anymore.
two.
If there were even the slightest thing that I thought we could do about it, I might.
It seems that you're willing to put a bit of friction in our relationship over this. And perhaps I should respect that decision. I assume that you've weighed it and that that's worthwhile to you. But it's just going to be hard for me to put this down. I'm a very curious man, and a thing I've been looking for answers about has just vanished from me. Can you give me just a few words about why I can't have them back? It's going to be hard for me to be satisfied.
Okay, can I get a... What's the name of the skill that I'm thinking of? Persuasion. That's the one.
17?
17's pretty respectable. But she is not moved. You hear a voice in your mind, Harbeck, after she looks at you for a brief moment.
Okay.
And you're not the only one. In fact, everybody except Brieg hears as a voice in his mind.
I'll take my headphones off.
It just says, keep the little one safe. Return to me after you've been to the shipwreck. It is extremely important that you do so. And do not discuss this with the little one.
I'm going to try to like sub-vocalize and send back. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to try and send back. Should we take him with us to the shipwreck?
Most certainly.
And then out loud, well, I guess I'll just have to let that gnaw away at me. I'll be a bit curious for a while, but I'm sure I'll find a distraction.
Okay. Poor little one. So what is everybody doing with what just happened?
I guess they've got the Elder Varen thing under control. We got what we came for. So I'm ready to go pick up our horses and strap myself to Brieg again so we can share a saddle and head back to Veer.
And they're not worried about, they don't want our help or anything, or are they not worried about our help in finding Elder?
Yeah, the impression I got was they're going to handle their Elder Varen investigation, and they want us to handle the other side of the investigation back in the other.
Oh, okay.
The
I guess
other
that
location.
telepathy was pretty clear that she wants us to go to the shipwreck.
Yeah.
It was very clear.
Okay.
Forceful. She's... Demanding is the wrong word, but she commands a certain sort of... Like, in all the conversations that you've had with her, she's always come across as this extremely... I'm trying to think of the word. But basically, whenever she asks you to do something, you feel like you should. She has that sort of presence of command or leadership that you just instinctively feel the need to follow.
In addition to her sheer charisma, Harbeck's inner reason for going is, I'm already super curious about, like, what kind of jerk would put all of my beer at the bottom of the ocean. And so, like, hey, we got a lead. I was probably going to go there anyway. And she seems pretty impressive, and we don't probably want to get on her bad side. And she's just charismatic, and you just kind of want to do what she says. Like, the three of those combined, Harbeck's totally fine with following along and playing along for a while.
I don't know about you, but between the poison and the fight with the skeletons, I could use a night.
Aye, lad. I think we won't leave until the morning.
Well, stay a few days. Luna will be new, and we'll be holding a festival.
So, like,
Sounds
the
like a
town?
plan to me.
Sounds fun.
The town is holding a festival.
I like parties.
No, just us. And she winks at you knowingly, and then leaves the room.
So
What?
as
I'm not
she
sure I
leaves,
like
I'm gonna.
that one.
Which one's my brewmaster friend? Is that him here? Oh, is he following her?
Yes, they're all.
Great. I'm gonna put an arm around him and just walk out with him, and say that, I'd like to come visit his establishment for a little while.
I'd
Be happy to have you.
Great.
Harbeck,
There's nothing better for a gaping flesh wound than a bit of drink.
Reek, are you throwing a party?
That's what a festival is.
Why didn't you invite me?
She did. She invited all of us.
But why didn't you invite me if you were throwing the party?
I'm not, she is.
She winked at you like the two of you were throwing the party. I'm very confused.
That was good.
So
Good
my
catching
last-
of the body language there, Den. You're making progress.
Rogar, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Can you teach me how to pray?
Pray to Bahamut. I did hear you speaking of gnomish gods, but they are tiny. Tiny gods.
I guess
A cleric who judges his god by his size chooses Bahamut.
My god is huge. Dragon.
I assume that the process is much the same.
Of course I can help.
But they are tiny. I have a cold. You shouldn't make me laugh like that. All right. Let's head back to the little.
So as we
town
walk
back
out the door, Harbeck's got his arm around the brewmaster. The events of this morning have me thinking through some ideas for a hangover cure, and we'll start talking recipes.
Okay. So you guys now have it's 2 days until the festival, so you've basically got like 4 long rests between now and then that you could potentially take. Brig, over that time, assuming that you take at least 1 long rest, your constitution damage will heal. Woohoo! And you will feel better. But during that time, during the next 2 days, what do you guys actually want to do?
Having used a lot of those like curative, restorative waters that I collected, have been studying them, and thus picked up the ability to remove curse and dispel magic. And I wanted to have a conversation with Harbeck in that study of perhaps creating similar effect drinks for future use.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, that's going to coincide very nicely with Harbeck's plan, which were, 1, sleep off today because it was terrible, and then for the other 3 nights to spend those long rests with my new artificer ability of poring over notes and theorizing and crafting new sorts of drinks. So if he's got some ideas and that could assist that process, that would be fantastic.
Yep, sure. So I will get a. What's the name of the skill for assisting? I did write it down here somewhere. It was medicine. Is the skill that you'll need to roll, please, Tabern, to assist in it. If you get a. Never mind. Turns out Tabern knows very little about medicine.
Well, at least he has an idea, and I can run with his idea for one of my nights.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
So
What is everybody else doing during that sort of 2-night period?
I'm learning about commerce with varying degrees of success. May or may not get arrested.
Can I get a sleight of hand check from you, please?
Oh, Din.
I imagine she.
Does anyone follow Din? Like, Harbeck is occupied, but does anyone keep an eye on her?
No.
I have this image of Din walking into the general store, kind of looking around for a little bit, and then just taking something off the shelf, putting a few coins there because she's pretty sure that that's how that works. And then walking off.
That's exactly what I was going with, actually. Yeah. So you don't try and steal anything, but you do sort of just pick something up and leave some money behind, and you're like, "This is how this works."
I give
And
you
you
things
ask-
I don't want, and you give me things I do want. That's how it was explained to me.
A bit of string. Just like, oh, there's lint in my pocket? Great.
I
The
found this
shop,
fistful of leaves.
the shopkeep stops you and is actually quite pleasant, and he manages to basically explain to you, no, it's worth more of those round shiny discs than you gave me, so you'll need to give me some more of those round shiny discs. Can I have an insight check from you, please?
Sure. This should go well. Yep, I'm just gonna give him all of the round shiny discs.
Why do we let her keep her own coin purse?
You just paid 50 gold for an apple.
Nice.
So you have it's a nice apple. It's delicious, but you did just lose 50 gold.
The shopkeeper's kindness ended at that point. Like,
I'm so sad my character doesn't know about this because I wanted, but I'm busy.
So, I'm going to spend the first little bit in conversation with Rogar, trying to glean from his knowledge of religion anything that I can about some gnomish gods, other than the fact that they are smaller than his dragon god,
Much.
and then spend the remaining 2 days basically locked in my room with my ferret, trying to pray and figure out what all those little visions that I had were.
Okay. Useless. He's Rogar is being pressed about gnomish gods. How much does Rogar know about gnomish gods, and how much is he willing to share instead of sharing the glory of Bahamut? Roll me a religion check.
Does the name Baravar mean anything to you?
See,
Huh.
I was thinking that I may have already professed all of my knowledge of Gnomish gods, but I guess I don't actually know. Okay, religion check.
Yes, please.
10.
There are several of them, and the most prominent one that you know of is a guy by the name of Garl Glittergold.
Now, when you say prominent, do you mean size-wise?
No, he's still tiny. But he does wear lots of shiny things, and dragons do like shiny things.
That's probably why I know about him, because he
Yeah.
sounds like the most respectable gnomish god. If he does
Yeah.
prize treasure hoards, for instance.
Oh, money mark. Beauty god. Alright, excuse me. So, yeah, you don't get a lot of information there, Breek, but you do learn that there are several gnomish gods, at least one of which is Garl Glittergold. And apparently he's the one that likes shiny things.
Would you like 50 of them for an apple?
Right. Anything else that wants to be done before we have the
The first YouTube break.
the festival and the first YouTube break? Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you the three things that I'm planning on working on the 3 nights in more specificity at this point, or should we deal with those later?
That's up to you, man. It's up to you, I
Okay,
don't mind.
so we're gonna work on, was it the pure water Tabarin that you wanted?
Yeah.
So we're gonna work on figuring out how to make that super cleansing pure water stuff. I imagine that's probably above my pay grade as a second level artificer, but we'll work on it.
Okay.
The other ideas that Harbeck's been kicking around and at second level is inspired that he might try are a drink that will restore some key energy, maybe something that could do like a 1d4 so it's not super consistent, but has a chance of boosting his key energy, and we'll find out what cost that comes at. And then getting down the strange brew that I found that made my melee attack range extend past the end of my fists. If I can remember enough about how that was made to start working on replicating that recipe. Those are the 3 things that I'd like to be working on. And we can...
Okay. Okay, fair enough. All right, well, let's call a quick break here then, before we get into anything else. Just because it's a really good time for a break, I think. So we'll take a quick 5-minute break for YouTube and drink refilling purposes, and then we'll be right back.
Yep. Okay, so video will cut for YouTube. When we get back from our break, we'll do a recap of what's gone on tonight for anyone who's joined us on Twitch midway through. We can catch up on tonight's activities. And for anyone who's watching on YouTube, they can catch up from the last time a video was posted.